Namaste and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Puneet Amin, and as you have already noticed, I have with me the first generation Duke 390. And on this video, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about how this particular motorcycle changed the whole game for the motorcycling industry. I'm gonna break the myth how this particular bike, mainly the KTM series, the 200 and 390 series, gained the reputation of being a killer machine. And thirdly, I'm gonna talk about why this is a perfect motorcycle if you're planning to enter the performance motorcycling experience. And I'm also gonna talk to the owner of this Duke 390, ask a few common questions so that you come to know whether should you consider buying a used first generation Duke 390. And now let's begin. Now do watch this video till the end, as I have a very unique surprise that is gonna roll in at the end of this video. Now if you have not subscribed to my channel, make sure you go hit that red subscription button, as I upload videos on bikes, adventure, travel and more. Hence it is a very exciting YouTube channel. Now you must have already noticed there is a bell icon right next to the subscribe button. Go hit that as well, otherwise it will feel lonely. Also, if you own a unique motorcycle and want me to feature it on my YouTube channel, you can hit me up on the email address that is showing up on the screen. Also, I'll put this email address in the description box below. And now let's continue with the Duke 390. It was the year 2013, that's when KTM launched the Duke 200 and the 390 series, and the price that they introduced it in the market shook the whole motorcycling industries. I remember this 390 was priced at 1,80,000 rupees ex-showroom Mumbai. That means you could get your hands on this baby at around 2 lakh rupees, which was a complete steal and a bargain, as its direct competition, the Ninja 300, was priced way higher, providing less equipment and less performance than this particular machine. The Duke 390 is powered by a single-cylinder 373cc engine which produces 44 brake horsepower and 35 Newton meters of torque. Now combine it with a 139 kg of a lightweight motorcycle, you get an insane power to weight ratio. With such an amazing power to weight ratio, you will see this motorcycle doing 0 to 60 in just 2.7 seconds and 0 to 100 in just 5.5 seconds, which brings this motorcycle to an entry-level supercar territory. That is one of the reasons why this motorcycle gained a reputation of a killer machine, because at the price it was launched at, a lot of Indians could get their hands on this motorcycle, but they were not ready for the performance it offered, which meant there were a lot of accidents on the KTM Duke series, mainly the 200 and the 390, which brings me to a point that you need to have some kind of an experience before you own such kind of a performance machine. Coming to the styling of this motorcycle, now this is a simple and sober design. Now that is my personal favorite choice of design, because such kind of a styling tend to age well and they still look quite young even after a decade. Also, this motorcycle came with a very compact profile, now which made it a weapon around the track, also in the corners of mountain roads. Moving to the suspension and the chassis, the major contribution for this lightweight motorcycle comes from its trellis frame chassis and its lightweight aluminum swing arm. Now the suspension offered on this motorcycle are both from WP, where you get a preload adjustment for your rear, but you don't get any kind of an adjustment for your front forks. And my experience on this motorcycle says that this motorcycle is stiffly sprung, now which makes this motorcycle very effective around the corners like I have mentioned before. But this stiff suspension setup means you're gonna feel every crack, bump and potholes on the road. Moving forward to the tires. Now, when this motorcycle was launched, it came with the sticky set of Metzeler tires. Now coming to the instrument cluster. Now this instrument cluster offered a lot more information than its competitors. It was way advanced as it not only offered the standard information like the tachometer, speedometer, the fuel gauge, the trip and the odo, it also offered information like the gear shift indicator, the average fuel consumption, the average speed and the engine temperature. Now, with all that performance in offer, this bike also needs to stop as fast as it accelerates. Hence, it has got the 300 front disc brake with bi-brake calipers and 230 rear disc brake, and it came with an ABS as standard. That means this bike can drop anchors as fast as it accelerates, which made this a perfect beginner performance motorcycle. Now, there are few things that I personally don't like about this motorcycle. To start off is the throttle on-off transition. Especially in slow speeds or start-stop traffic, the on-off transition of this throttle is very jerky. Well, you won't feel it when you're constantly cruising, but you will definitely notice it when you are literally clutching and gearing every time in slow moving traffic. And the second point I don't like about this motorcycle is this tiny seat. Now, I am 6 feet tall, and once I put my leg over on this motorcycle, there is no room for me to move around. That means I am fixed in one place, and the original seat that it came with did not have any kind of cushioning. That means your butt is gonna get sore after 50 kilometers of riding. Now the third point that I don't like about this motorcycle is the way it heats up. Now this motorcycle has a tendency of heating up a lot. Now there are two main explanations why. First of all, it's a high compression engine. Now a higher compression engine has a higher tendency of heating up compared to a conventional engine, and also if you can notice, the exhaust pipe goes right next to your left leg, which means your left leg will be barbecued much quicker than your right leg. The point number 4 that I don't like about this motorcycle is the way it sounds. Now, to put it in a simpler way, it sounds very similar to a 3-wheeled auto rickshaw in India. Now let's see how it sounds. Yeah. Do you know what I mean to say? Yeah, so it's quite loud as I'm in the indoors, but that is a sound that I'm not really a fan of. Now, before I take this motorcycle for a spin, let's talk to the owner of this motorcycle and ask him few questions. Now, to introduce the owner, he is a very good friend of mine and his name is Neeraj Shetty. Hi Neeraj, thanks for lending your bike for the day and coming over to answer few common questions that has been regularly asked about this motorcycle. So now what I have done is I've made a list of questions that I'm gonna ask Neeraj. So Neeraj, the first question is, how long have you owned this motorcycle?
For 4 years.
4 years, that means you have bought this in the year 2016, right? Okay, so it's a 2016 motorcycle. And how has been your riding experience both on the city and the highway?
Both in city and the highway, the riding comfort is very bad. But for the long rides, still it is very comfortable. But if you are stuck in a heavy traffic in city, then the engine, you have to bear the engine heat.
Yeah, so that's the point that I've already mentioned in my dislikes as well. And now coming to question number 2, what is the fuel economy that this motorcycle give you?
In city it will give around 22 to 25, and in highway if you are cruising in triple digit speed, then it will give around 20 to 30.
Oh, that's I think with the performance that it comes with, I think that's a fair average and mileage that this motorcycle gives you. The third question is the service interval and the service cost for this motorcycle.
As I am not using this bike on a daily basis, so I service usually my bike after 7 to 8 months. So it will give me service cost is around 3 to 4,000.
Okay, that's fairly reasonable. And so, in 4 years of your ownership, have you faced any kind of an issue on this motorcycle?
In these 4 years, I have not faced any major issues, but due to this corona, the bike was standing still for around 3 to 4 months. So my instrument cluster, due to rain, was not working properly.
Okay, yeah, that's the reason why I'm not shown the instrument cluster and the information that it displays. FYI, just an FYI. Okay, so moving to the question number 5, the heating issue. Do you face it too?
Yeah, face the heating issue more probably when if you are traveling in city and if you are stuck in a traffic for a long period of time, and also if you are traveling this bike at summer. So
Oh,
in
okay.
summer in the
Summer
heat is
riding,
not
yes.
bearable.
Okay, definitely because of the exhaust that is right next to your left leg. And what about the high speed stability?
The bike is stable even in the high speed. I have cruised this bike at the speed around 120 to 140. The bike
Okay.
remains stable. There is no issue there.
Okay, cool. So the last question that I have is, now I have already mentioned my personal bad points about this motorcycle. Now, Neeraj, do you have any your personal opinion or the things you don't like about this motorcycle?
If when I took this bike for a long ride, so the major problem I faced is the riding was not comfortable at all. And the second point is that as the fuel tank capacity is just 11 liters, so I have to refill it after every 20 to 30 minutes of ride.
Correct.
So that was the major issue I faced.
Okay, so to summarize it, I would say that this motorcycle is not really made for touring. As you mentioned correctly, the fuel tank range is quite small as it is just 11 liter fuel tank, and because of being a compact profile and stiffly sprung motorcycle, it's not really very comfortable on long tours. But there are people who take it to Ladakh, Shillong, and have done tours on this motorcycle, which is insane, and I'm highly impressed by those few people. Alright, so this sums up my question and answer session with Neeraj. Now it's time to take this motorcycle for a spin, and like I said, stay till the end of this video because I have a surprise for you. Whoa, wait, I forgot to mention one point that is very crucial. Now, that question is, should you go for a first generation Duke 390 from a used market? Yes, if you are looking to enter the performance motorcycle segment, then this is the perfect motorcycle to begin with. And a motorcycle in such good condition, you will find it at around 1 lakh to 1 lakh 30 rupees of a range, which is still a very good bargain, and this motorcycle tends to hold a good value in the second-hand market as well. Now we shall take this motorcycle for a spin. Riding the Duke 390. So being a very compact profile, the cornering capability of this motorcycle is insane. Like, it gives you a lot of confidence that you can lean harder and then pull out straight off the corner, shoot like a bullet. Okay, we are on the highway. So here is a bad patch. Let's test the suspension, how it feels. And then we're gonna accelerate it hard and see how it performs, and I'm sure I'm not gonna be disappointed. Alright, so as you can see, it's a broken patch of road and I can feel every single bump on this road. I'm avoiding all the big ones because it's gonna give me a goddamn big jolt to my bike. And still, I would say you cannot do much of a long ride and touring with this set of a suspension because every undulation can be felt either on your back or on your arms. Okay, we have a smooth stretch. Let's see how this accelerates. And yes, the performance is not at all disappointing. It is definitely gonna put a lot of smile in your face. Okay, let's see how it accelerates. Woo! Wow! That is what the performance it offers. Every time you accelerate, you are gonna smile like a Christmas tree. Woo! Okay, now let's see how this motorcycle accelerates. Woo! Yeah, she can do triple digits in no time. And that is the level of performance this bike can offer. Now back to the location. So back to the studio, which means it's time for the surprise. Let me know in the comment box below if you were able to guess it just by the sound of it. That's right. Now I have the 2017 generation of Duke 390 as well. That means there is a motorcycle video coming up on this bike, and I'm also gonna do a comparison video between the 2017 generation and the first generation of Duke 390. So make sure to subscribe to this channel and stay tuned for more exciting videos.